This should be the Staten Island Ferry terminal, but it's not. It's another ferry terminal here at Battery Park. We're going to take a ride on the Staten Island Ferry, going over and across New York Harbor and back, and see the views. So come along. It's Thursday, July 27th, 2020. Let's go. You can take the subway to the ferry, come up and come right out and go into the terminal. Gotta put the face mask on in here. And it's free. It's been free for more than 20 years. And at this time of the day, they run once an hour. During rush hour, it's more like once every 20 minutes. And you used to be able to take your car on the ferry. Those days are long past. Here's the departure times. Well, you can also get it online. There come the people off the ferry before us. And here's everybody here. They're all standing apart. They have red X's on the floors. So hopefully there won't be any crowding getting on, and when we're on the boat, they had an announcement for people not to crowd, that there's plenty of time to get on. So we'll see how it works in practice. Social distancing breaking down.
Please proceed safely. Hand on your phone chronometers first. Thank you for that. Staten Island Ferry.
Glória, tu tá louco?
One of the oldest boats in the fleet, but it's named after my favorite president, John F. Kennedy. So I'm happy happy to be riding this boat. Guess we'll go upstairs.
You're Staten Island.
Little stand. I hope we're on the right side of the boat. I don't think it spins around. There's the Statue of Liberty, the star attraction of the ride. That's Staten Island in the distance. This is Governor's Island over here to the left, where I have never been. They've gradually made it more open to the public.
Passengers are reminded while on board the Staten Island Ferry you must be wearing your face masks at all times. It's required. All face masks at all times. Thank you.
It's Ellis Island. You see the sort of Moorish type building with the pinnacles, 4 pinnacles. That's where a lot of people who immigrated to the U.S. came in through New York Harbor, including my grandparents from Scotland, and my dad and his brother and sisters. We've toured a decrepit, abandoned hospital that they had there. It's sort of to the left of the main buildings. And it's an interesting, they call it a hard hat tour to go on. And it's where they quarantine people when they had various kinds of diseases that they didn't want to spread in the U.S. They were quarantined there, and they either got better or they had to be shipped back to whence they came. Imagine sailing all the way over here and then being turned around and sent back. So, alright, we'll wait for us to get going and then we'll continue. That little white ferry looks like the ferry to Statue of Liberty or Ellis Island, because it's still running. I know I've heard you can't go in the statue right now during the pandemic, but you can still go to the grounds. It's another little ferry, probably coming from around the east side of Lower Manhattan, headed to Jersey City, probably. It also goes to Hoboken, but I don't know if they're running between Hoboken and Wall Street at this time. The ferry service that is run to Hoboken leaves the World Financial Center, which is over on the lower west side of Manhattan. It's supposed to be a 25-minute ride. leaving right on the half hour, but we'll see. It's 5 minutes past the half hour right now. There's another boat coming around the back of us. Maybe that's what's holding us up. Looks like the little ferry that goes to Governor's Island. Looks like it also takes cars too. Alright, finally we're pushing out. Funny how few planes you see in the sky these days actually take note when you do see one. Way in the distance is the Newark airport, so I do see like one jetliner coming in for a landing. You probably can't see it on the camera, but yeah, let's look back at Lower Manhattan as we pull away from the terminal. The green terminal I showed you right at the start, that's what's just to the right of the more modern terminal that we pulled out of. So the green terminal is where the ferry leaves for Governor's Island. Back up the East River, that's the Brooklyn Bridge. You see the Manhattan Bridge behind it. This is Battery Park right here at the tip of Lower Manhattan. There's an old fort there. You can tour Revolutionary War era. And it's the skyline of Jersey City across the Hudson. So this is the start of the Hudson River right here, and then the start of the East River over here. And then they meet here in New York Harbor. Back at Lower Manhattan as we pull away. Now we're directly across from Ellis Island. See the one ferry is pulling into the little harbor that they have there. So I guess you can still go there and visit. The main attraction there, outside of going to the ruins of that old hospital there, would be going into the main hall, and also to look up records of when your ancestors or even your parents came to the US, but I don't know if that's open right now. You can still walk around the grounds. Statue of Liberty. A lot of jet skiers out there. I always thought that would be a bigger thing in New York. So much fun. I've done it once, not in New York. I actually did it in Key West, and it was with a group, and then they showed us various things, and then we ended the tour by going around the whole island of Key West. It was, like I said, it was so much fun. There's a statue. Looks like you'd have a lot of room to roam there. It doesn't look that crowded. Sure, there's different things you can read outside without being allowed to go into any kind of museum. Thank you, France, for the gift. Class act, France. I have a cousin who once got married in New York, and the wedding reception was held on a boat that went out here in the New York harbor, and there's a great picture of her in her wedding dress holding up a glass of wine with the Statue of Liberty holding up the lantern right behind her. It's a classic New York shot. So you see a lot of the freight terminals on the New Jersey side of the harbor. Much more active side commercially than the Brooklyn side. A lot of the boats here are just at anchor. Announced that we're going to be pulling into Staten Island pretty soon. There's some ships parked at the dock. I'm not a close analyst of the amount of goods that are imported into the U.S. via the New York port, but I just noticed like there's one ship over there with a lot of containers on it, but it seems like in normal circumstances there'd be a lot more. Maybe that's typical, don't know. So here's a view of Staten Island coming into view. It's like the only footage I think I'll ever have of anything from Staten Island on my channel. I just don't get over here that much. And it always seems like there's a lot of potential in Staten Island, but it never really has any astounding growth or anything. Listen to the announcement.
Follow CDC social distancing recommendations. Please remain seated to the ferry's dock and do not gather in the front of the ferry. This will allow our crew members to safely prepare the vessel for your disembarkation. We appreciate your cooperation during these stressful times and hope everybody remains safe. Thank you for riding the Staten Island Ferry.
I guess I should sit down while they dock the boat. Just a view of the indoor seating area. Okay, everybody has to get off the boat. Even if you want to go back to Manhattan, you gotta get off the boat and get back on, get back in line. A lot of people here get on buses, and there's also a little branch of the MTA subway that just runs in Staten Island. It's like 10, 15 stations, goes down the length of the island. Get your gifts and drinks. That's the transit system I was telling you about, the Staten Island Railroad, SIR. Right, ferry to Manhattan, that's us. Get right back on to the next one, going back. So there's a lot less people going back to Manhattan this time of the day. Air conditioning feels nice. Out on the boat, it's very humid. It's like 10% higher humidity than every other part of the city, just being out on the water. Alright, so we'll wait to get back on the next ferry. Here's a map that shows you where we're going. We are here, and we're going back north over to Manhattan. We'll get right back on the same ferry we came over on. Prime seats in the front.
I got problems.
That's the Verrazano Narrows Bridge between Staten Island and Brooklyn. And it's Brooklyn over there. Brooklyn's a great borough, but it's just not very scenic from the water. It's downtown Brooklyn straight ahead. And then Lower Manhattan. And then Jersey City. So those are the three separate skylines. And before we take off, that's the Staten Island minor league baseball stadium where you see the lights sticking up. You can sort of see some of the grandstand seating if you know what to look for. But anyway, it's a nice location.
Passengers are reminded while on board Staten Island Ferry, you must wear
There's the tugboat.
coverings at all times. Scale passengers must wear face coverings at all times. We appreciate your cooperation. Have a safe trip.
Lower level. Lifeboats. That's where the cars used to park. Take a look at the Statue of Liberty. As close up as we can get. For the zoom in here. They're good about making live
May I
announcements.
have your attention, please?
Oh, there's a recorded
The ferry
announcement.
will be docking shortly. For your safety, all passengers are to remain off stairs, ramps, and landings until the ferry has come to a complete stop at the terminal. Remain behind the designated barriers for docking. Failure to do so could result in serious injury. Please check and ensure you have all your personal belongings with you as you leave the ferry. Please place all trash in the receptacles provided throughout the ferry. Thank you for riding the Staten Island Ferry.
There's definitely nothing flashy about this ferry. So would I ride this Staten Island Ferry if I came here as a tourist? Well, it's free, and regular ferry that I'm taking is $6 a ride, or $7 if you just get the single ride. So the view is okay, not quite as good as in Lower Manhattan here. But you do get the Staten Island Ferry. You still do get the Statue of Liberty, so there's something to be said for that. I've done it before with a friend from England, actually, who had the means to do a lot of different things, and she wanted to just ride the Staten Island Ferry as one of the things she had on her list to do. So we did that, and actually it was fun. I guess it depends on who you're with. But as a solo traveler, maybe if you hit the sunrise or the sunset just at the right time on a nice night, it would be good. That's how I remember when I did it 15 years ago. So